I'm starting to think that the mangaka of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure has something against Joseph's artificial hand. Every time he gets into a fight or something goes down with the reveal of a certain, stand, you have his hand just always fly off. Like, what the hell? I'm starting to think like the mangaka has a hand fetish or something with Joseph, because it always happens, and I've seen it done at least 6 or 7 times already in Stardust Crusaders. And so it's incredibly strange how constantly Joseph is becoming the person that, demonstrates the power and speed of these different stands because his hand always flies off. I mean, yeah. Okay, so besides that, this episode really, for the most part, the atmosphere and tension of it felt a lot different from other episodes of Stardust Crusaders. Now, I don't know if I'm the only one that felt it, but it felt like they were trying to set up a death in this episode. In this episode, at first, I thought Joseph died. When he got, shot in the freaking chin and all that, and he fell backwards, I thought he fucking died for a second, but then he was fine. But still, the tension in this episode really made me believe something bad was going to happen. The reasons why I believe this is because of Susie and Holly getting brought up in this episode. We get an update and brief update status on Holly. We get to see exactly what's going down in Japan, and we see that her condition is getting worse, and you have, the Speedwagon organization trying to work on her the best they can to keep her alive. And Susie, in this episode, Joseph's, wife, pretty much is slowly keying in on these factors of something is going on because Jotaro is with Joseph out of Japan. So there's something else going on here, and she's going to lead to being worried about her daughter. So right now, the episode really sets up that entire factor because, why would they bring in Susie? The only reasons why I would say Susie would be brought in is to add some form of tension, but it makes me believe like there's going to be some form of drama or setup for this because, you'll most likely either have Susie get captured later on in the future by Dio or someone, because probably going to have Susie freak out when she finds out that her own daughter is in a critical state. She might go to Japan and, Dio might find her and capture her and use her against, JoJo. So that could possibly happen, or Joseph could possibly die, and Susie's going to have to grieve the loss of Joseph. The reason why I'm saying this is because the tension of this episode just felt so freaking different from any other episode. It felt really different. It did. It felt very like the calm before the storm. That's exactly what it felt like, because the music at the end of this episode, it makes me believe that. When you saw, the phone in the water, and you saw Joseph's hand in the water, his mechanical hand floating in the water in the submarine at the last part of this episode, and when you see the smiling face of the High Priestess, I was like, oh my god, and the episode ends. It made me believe that. I don't know. I don't know if, Joseph is going to die because of this or not, but JoJo's Bizarre Adventures, like I've said many times, it does kill off characters. It does kill off characters. Even though Muhammad came back last episode, it doesn't change my entire viewpoint on this series. Characters can die, and they do get killed off when they are killed off. Usually that happens in JoJo. Moving past that entire point, we get the introduction of this new stand called the High Priestess. Now, this stand is very interesting from what I can see of it already. It's very deadly, too, because this stand can be remote controlled way far off the distance from the mainland, like 40 meters above water on the mainland, and pretty much someone's just controlling it and it's switching its form into different minerals and stuff. So that's really creepy, finding out about this, stand's powers, because he can actually change into any types of metals. He can change into aluminum and stuff like that, and he can just manipulate it, make himself look like that. When you pick up, let's say, a coffee cup, you'll get your freaking hand cut off like, happened to Joseph. That would kind of piss me off, I want to be honest. If I was to go get my cup of coffee, after I'm probably going to do after I'm done with this review, and I was to pick up my cup of coffee, and all of a sudden this razor monster comes out, cuts my fucking hand off when I'm having my coffee, I want to be one pissed off person, because I love my coffee, and I would be so mad if my hand got cut off and I couldn't drink my coffee. So, besides that, overall, the episode was a really enjoyable episode. It sets up a lot of things. It mainly was just there to demonstrate the High Priestess stand and set up the tension for Susie, Holly, Jotaro, and Joseph. That's exactly what it was for. So, it's obvious that, the JoJo and the gang is pretty much going to get out of the submarine. It's pretty obvious they will. How are they exactly going to get out of it? That's a big question right now. So, all of you have a wonderful day or night wherever you live. Please tell me your thoughts in the comments below about this episode of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Please be safe. Chibi out.